Buenos dias. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Alrighty. Morning, chat. Should I start calling everyone chat? Like we're on Twitch? Morning, guys. Bonjour. How we doing? Morning, 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 morning. What a day yesterday, huh? Rangers today? Yeah. I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. I've seen it before. I know it's possible. Rangers in 6. Levels for ESNQ. Give me a second, my friend. All right, give me a second. SMCI was yeah. You guys saw when we looked at that SMCI chart yesterday, something clicked, and man, was that a day. Man, was that a day. I would like to bottle up yesterday, repeated 1,000 times. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind a day like yesterday again today. That wouldn't be bad. Yeah, big Walmart move, huh? Look at that. I think Oracle as well. Oh, no, it wasn't Oracle. What was it? Yeah, it was. Oracle, big upside as well. No, it wasn't. What the hell? Who reported yesterday? Cisco. CSCO. Cisco, pretty big upside as well. But yesterday was about the semis. The semiconductors. Strong. AMD gave us that move. SMCI gave us that move. Nvidia gave us that move. Some big Qualcomm's been strong. TSM was strong. MU was strong. Pretty much semis across the board. Very strong yesterday. And I know we were talking about, I think it was Breadman. We were talking about trading that SOXL, that Soxel. That was a sick move as well. This is just that semiconductor ETF. And that was a sick move as well on the semiconductor ETF. We'll review that today. AMD, yeah, the 157 retest was sick yesterday on AMD. Really nice trades, really nice break-in retests, just across the board. A lot of really nice stuff yesterday. We'll review some of it. Yeah. What are we charting? We're at all-time highs. Yeah, we're going to be looking at pullback levels, right? Pullback levels, some key pullback levels to look for today. If we do get a little pullback on the day, which is not surprising at all. If we do get that, then we'll have to be aware of what levels to look for. Tesla, yeah, what a disaster on Tesla. And still pig with makeup. If I traded futures, I don't trade funded accounts. I believe in trading your own money. I think there's a much larger emotional connection to your own money, and that you don't quite get with trading funded accounts. You're just sort of trading, and you just keep taking. I don't know. I don't know. I'll keep my. I know it's a Sore subject to some, but I don't believe in it. You just keep paying monthly to get fake money, basically, and you just don't have a real connection to it. And I don't think it teaches the right. I don't think it teaches the right emotional control, psychology, money management. I think that's a big part of trading that you just don't quite get when you're just paying monthly for $100,000 accounts. I get it, but that's my personal opinion. Nvidia analysis was, Nvidia was perfect. The 922 level was awesome. Appreciate that, man. That was a sick trade. Hopefully you caught a little bit of that. Go Rangers. All right, guys. Well, let's get started. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you guys coming back. Thanks for all the support on the channel. What a day yesterday. About a $10,000 day for me. Unrealized. I had $2,000 realized, about $8,000 unrealized coming into today. So we'll see where that ends up. I still believe in some of the plays I'm in, and if I have to give back some to potentially see more, that's part of the game, right? How do we increase our profits? How do we let runners ride? Sometimes we got to give some back to let it work more. So that's sort of my mindset on my SMCI trade that I took yesterday. I have some next week contracts on SMCI. I want to see this out a little bit. I don't want to just be looking for that one-day move, even though the one-day move might be where the money was made. And if I see rejections today, I'll take it off. But for now, sitting pretty in a few positions. Both setups that we talked about yesterday, SMCI, Nvidia, two really nice trades. Let's get started with the economic calendar. As you guys know, yesterday was CPI. We knew that, and we saw that reaction on CPI. We definitely saw that pop through all-time highs, and that was big. Thursday, today, unemployment claims early morning. We'll see if there's any reaction on that today, on that unemployment claims number. We have building permits, Philly Fed manufacturing index as well, but I think that unemployment claims is probably the big event. 9:15, 10 o'clock, bar, some FOMC members speaking midday. So we'll keep an eye on, some of these members speaking 10 o'clock and 12 o'clock today. You could keep an eye on that. I think levels are going to be more important than anything today. You are through all-time highs on SPY QQQ. You're sitting right above all-time highs on Nasdaq ES. So I think some very key levels today. We will see what the reaction here is 8:30. And then tomorrow, not much. Not much. All right. So that's that. On the earnings side, I don't think we have too much today. On the earnings side, we had Walmart this morning. We had Baidu this morning. We had JD this morning. And that's pretty much it. I'm actually interested. What did BIDU do? Okay, so Baidu, not much. JD, a little bit higher. Nothing I'm really interested in. And Walmart, big pop on Walmart on earnings. How did they do? They must have reported well. EPS, about in line with expectations. They beat on this EPS. Their forecast is, their Q2 forecast is in line. They beat on EPS. They beat on sales. So a double beat on Walmart. Looks like they repurchased about 8 million shares. So it looks like a pretty healthy report for Walmart, and we can obviously see the reaction there. So good for some of those retailers. John Deere. All right. Let's jump right into it because we got a lot to talk about. And today it's a little bit difficult today because at least on the SPY QQQ, guys, there is no levels after this, right? This was the all-time high down here. So this is all new stuff. This is all new stuff up here. This was your previous all-time high. So you held above that yesterday perfectly, which caused the upside. So the SPY and QQQ, we're going to be talking about levels that we have not seen before, right? We have not seen before. So here's the Nasdaq. You guys can see right here, 18,709. 18,709 is the previous all-time high. So if we go to the daily chart, The previous all-time high on this Nasdaq futures was this day right here, and the high of this candle. Ayush, I'm not going to answer questions if you keep trying to get my attention by putting big question marks, man. I'm going to do everyone. Let's just go ahead and start the day. All right. Nasdaq 18,709. You guys can see that right there. That is your previous all-time high, and that is where you are sitting above right now, right? So 18,709, you can see right here, is where we're trying to hold above right now. That is going to be the level to watch this morning, right? Right, I would say between 18,709 and around this 18,007 is that zone that we're going to be looking for that potential hold, right? You can see these highs yesterday, and you know that 18,709 is your all-time high, right? So this little 10-point range on the Nasdaq would be an incredibly strong hold. Now, do I expect to see that? I don't know, right? I don't know yet, right? I don't know yet. This is going to be, that would be a very, very strong hold if we just maintain above previous all-time highs on Nasdaq futures, and we maintain above yesterday's highs on Nasdaq futures as well. If we do, we're looking for upside, right? No doubt about it. If we hold above 18.7, 18.710, that previous all-time high and that yesterday high, and we just start to see this thing wicking and holding today, then we're definitely looking for further upside. So that's number one. That's number one. That's very important. Let's see what happens at previous day highs, and let's see what happens at the all-time high on the Nasdaq futures. If we drop below that level, the next level to be looking for is right here. We can see that very clearly, 18,670, very clear level there, right? We saw that hold here yesterday, late day. We saw a resiliency at the 18,670 on these little pullbacks. We saw that market hold up, and continue higher. That's a very clear level there as well, 18,670. Now, if we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see where that 18,670 comes in. It's this little wick area right here. It's not a great 4-hour level. It doesn't have that much reaction at it, right? It's really just this little wick high right here. But the reason I have that on my charts is because on this 5-minute chart, you can see the reactions on it yesterday, right? So that's definitely a level that could react again today around this 18,670. So we have yesterday's highs, that all-time high around 18,007. We have 18,670, which is that previous support from yesterday. And if we break below the 18,670, this is where I think you could get a little bit further continuation to the downside, okay? If we do break below this right here, right? If we do break below this right here, this little double bottom right there, if we break below that, I think you could probably see a little bit more aggressive downside, right? Why do I say that? Because this was pretty much from this area to this area, this was pretty much straight up, right? So we went from consolidation, straight up consolidation, right? So if we break below this consolidation, I would expect straight down back to this consolidation, right? So if you are looking for, okay, I think I want to look for a little bit of a pullback today, I would probably look for the break under right here, right? If you break under this, that's where I think, okay, maybe you can grab a little bit of a scalp short towards this 18,605. Now, the 18,605, 18,006, and this is a big level. This is actually a major 4-hour level, and that is right here. So if we go to the 4-hour chart, you can see right here, this 18,006, 605 area is this triple top, right? Right there on the 4-hour chart. And that's probably your strongest pullback level, right? Because it's coming from a major 4-hour level. And that is, let me show you that one more time. I know it's difficult because it's all so high, and so, we went pretty much straight up yesterday. But you can see right here, right? Look at the reactions at that 18,605 level right there, right? See that reaction right there? See this consolidation? So if we do pull back to that level, this is definitely going to be one of those pullback long levels to watch. All right? So 670, 700, and 600 are my top levels to watch today for downside, okay? right here, right here, right here, right? If we pull back to these levels, I will look to see if those are longs. I would say the only spot that I even consider shorts, which I probably won't even consider shorts today much, I'll probably be more interested again in the pullback longs. But if this does look very weak under this 670 level, I think you could consider some short action towards the 600. This is probably that one zone that I would consider, and that is because of this right here, right? That how we just went sort of vertical there. There's probably some free-flowing downside through there if we do look weak and we do get stuck under that 670 level today. Made 16,000 on SMCI. Wow. As soon as you said it, watch towards the end of the video, locked in. Hell yeah, man. Hey, it pays, right? It pays to watch the live streams towards the end, huh? $16,000 a day because you watched the live stream as we were ending on SMCI. So well done, brother. So those are my NQ levels for now, right? 18,007, 18,710. If we hold this, that is a very strong reason for upside. If we pull back to this 670, definitely another reason to look for upside off this right here. If we break under this level, that's where I think it gets a little bit more slippery, maybe towards that 600, 605 level. All right. Let's go to the QQQ real quick. We'll just stick with the tech market, and then we'll go to the ES. The QQQ, let me make this very clear, guys. The only level that's on your charts right here is 449, right? So let me go to this. I really should delete some of these levels, huh? Makes it a little bit messy. I would hope we don't test these levels today. If we test $380 a share today, that would be very interesting. That would be a very destructive day for the market. Don't think we'll be seeing that. But the only level that's really on your chart from a past, right, in the past that has any history behind it is 449.34. That is your previous all-time high. So if we go to the 5-minute chart, right, we can see here everything north of this 449.34 is all new levels, right? So these are all new levels, and I have a little bit of a hard time trusting some of them. That's why I think more than anything, I'll be focused on the ES and NQ today, because these levels on the ES and NQ are historical levels. This is the all-time high here. On the QQQ, this is all new stuff. This is all new levels up here. This is the last level that was actually on your charts before yesterday. The one thing I do want to point out, guys, is the reason I looked for upside yesterday, and I'll show you it, and it is because of our 447 level. If you guys were paying attention yesterday on the QQQ analysis, we were very focused on this 447.50 to 447 zone. You guys probably remember that. That was this zone right here that we were talking about. It was our 447 to 447.50 zone. We saw previously on our 4-hour chart that we had a quadruple top at that level, 447.50 to 447. That was the main reason why, in my opinion, the market went higher yesterday. Look at this right here, right? Look at what we did yesterday after market open. We had a downside move off of market open, and we held perfectly in our 447.50 to 447 zone. This was an important zone that we had marked out yesterday, and this was the exact demand that we needed to test for that upside. It was a sick hold. You guys saw that live. If you're in the chat, we were talking about it. But also, if you just came to the live stream and paid attention to the levels, that was perfection yesterday. And that hold at 447 really set up this upside move. So that was sick. We got above the all-time high, and since then it was just straight up. The levels that I do have on the charts here on the QQQ sort of mimic that Nasdaq action. So you can definitely see some levels here from yesterday, but you basically have to set up your levels in accordance to where were their rejections and where were their holds yesterday, right? Where were the key holds intraday yesterday? Where were some of the rejections? So right now, the first level that I have is 453.50, right? 453.50, you guys can see right there, is a pre-market level that is definitely trying to hold right now. That 453.50 on the QQQ, which aligns with this, right? It aligns with this on the Nasdaq futures. The 18,007 zone right here, that aligns very nicely with our QQQ 435.50, right? We can see that very nicely right there. So that's number one. Below that level, we look at the previous day highs, right? Previous day highs, previous day highs, previous day highs. Right there, we can see that's our next level. That's 453, right? So 453.50 to 453, these are two very interesting hold levels that we can look for today if the QQQ remains strong there. The level under yesterday's highs at 453 is right here, right? We can see that little double bottom low around that 452. The exact low here is 452.20. We could put it at 452.20. That's the exact little wick low of that little intraday consolidation. You can see it right there, right? 452.20. Very nice, very clear. So we have our levels. We have some levels now. We have yesterday's highs at 453. We have this little consolidation low at 452.20. And we have this little pre-market hold at 453.50. Very nice. Now, under this, right, this is what we just talked about on the Nasdaq futures. Under this is where, like I said on the Nasdaq, I think you could see some more slippery action to the downside, right? Under this shelf, you really don't have support until there. Why? This was a straight up move intraday, right? Really no consolidation. You had consolidation, straight up, consolidation, right? So I would say if you break under, like I said on the Nasdaq, if you break under that consolidation, you could have downside towards the next consolidation right there. Right? So this is definitely a level that I would say you don't want to see break if you want to see the market continue higher. That is the same as our Nasdaq future level right here. Our 18,670 to our 18,6. We talked about that straight up move, right? That is the same on the QQQ, which is right here. It is that 452.20, right, to that 450.75. If you do break under that 452.20 today, that's where I think you could move lower. All right? So, very clear right now. 452.20, 450.75. Yesterday's highs, 453. And then this pre-market hold that keeps coming in, 453.50. Nice clean levels there on the QQQ. All right, ES. The ES is holding above the all-time highs. This is all-time highs on the ES. 5,333.5 was our previous all-time high. All right, if we go to the daily chart and we zoom in, our previous all-time high was right here on this wick candle right here. The high of that candle was 5,333.5. Exactly that level. And if we go to the 5-minute chart, we can see, right, look at what the ES is doing right now. It is trying to maintain that level this morning, right? That's pretty clear. I'm actually going to make this a little bit smaller. You guys can see right there, you have this maintain above the previous all-time high right now on the ES. That should, if we maintain that, that should continue upside, right? If you maintain it. Now, also, what is very clear is where we rejected yesterday at end of day, right? Where did the day end yesterday? What did the Nasdaq and S&P 500 do yesterday? What did the futures what did the futures do yesterday at end of day? They ended the day right at that previous all-time high, right? That is both on the ES and NQ. Here's the NQ yesterday. The end of day was right at the all-time high, right at the 18,709. That is the same with the ES. The ES ended the day yesterday on a rejection of the all-time high, 5,333.5, right? So that's very clear, right? That was a rejection yesterday, and that is now a hold this morning. So if we hold above that, don't look for shorts, okay? Please do not try to short this market if the Nasdaq and S&P are holding above the previous all-time highs. There is no reason to be looking short in that scenario. If we do break this level and we do break below the all-time high level, my next level on the ES is right here around 53.20. 53.20 is an important previous 4-hour level. I will show you it here. Here's your 4-hour chart. And if we see 53.20, that's right here. 53.20 was this previous high right there. So that's your next level to the downside. 53.20 was your previous 4-hour rejection right here. That was your all-time high at 5333.5, right? And then under that, I'm looking at this right here. Under that, you have this wick rejection right here, and that's 53.08. So let me show you how that responded yesterday, right? So we have previous all-time high. We have our 53.20, which we can actually see had reactions intraday, which is very nice. And then we had 53.08, right? And that you can see right there was a very nice hold yesterday, right? So those are my levels, 53.08, 53.20, and that 53.33 right there, right? So I know that these are levels from the 4-hour chart, and these are levels I can look for those pullback longs off of. I might move this up just a little bit to like 53.10 because that's sort of where it did hold yesterday. You can see right there, 53.10 on that wick hold, and then you can see those holds right above that 20. So if I zoom into this a little bit closer, you can see how these levels reacted intraday, giving you confidence that you can trade off of them again, right? That was our 5300. You saw that reaction. This was our 5310. You saw that reaction. This is our 5320. You saw those reactions, right? So you can look at those reactions from yesterday, and you can use that to decide, what you're going to trade off today. Here's your reaction at the all-time high, 53.33, right? So very nice. Those are the levels on the ES. On the SPY, again, like the QQQ, these are all-time high levels. These are all price discovery mode levels. The only previous level on the SPY is the all-time high at 525.85, and we held that level really nicely. We held above all-time high on the SPY yesterday, which helped that upside move. And then we can just sort of look at the same reactions that we looked at on the ES, right? Here's your yesterday high at 530. So 530 is definitely going to be a key level there. Under that, 528.50, we can see those reactions there. That's our 58.20, right? And then right here, 53.20, not 58.20. I was like, we're not at 5800. That's our 53.20, right? Right there, our 53.20 is equal to our SPY 528.50. Under that, this is our 53.10. You can see it right here. Our 53.10 is our 527.50. Very clear, right? Same reactions. And then under that is our 527. Right? So you can line up those reactions to line up with those ESNQ levels. They're the same exact reactions. Right? We just looked at that on the ES. We'll zoom in on the SPY 5-minute. Right? You see that reaction. You see that reaction. You see that reaction. Those are our levels. 528.50, 527.50, 527. If we do drop below our 530, which is yesterday's highs, and the very clear level that's holding right now. Okay. AMC gap fill to 40. Yeah. Okay. When the cow jumps over the moon, my friend. When the cow jumps over the moon, that's when AMC goes to 40. All right. So that's the futures levels on ESNQ, SPY, QQQ. Let's go to the Russell real quick. The Russell, really nice hold of that 2070 yesterday. We talked about that. 2070 held. Yesterday we pushed up again. We are pushing right into our 2125 level. 2125, you could call it maybe 21. Yeah, it sort of rejected right here yesterday, right? Hold on one second. So that yesterday rejection came in like right here around that 21, what was that, 33? Yeah, right at that 21.33. All right, 21, I'm going to keep it at 33 right there. Why do I have that as a level? I'll show you in a second. Here it is, right? You can see here in the 4-hour chart. See these rejections right here? See those rejections right there on the Russell? That's 21.33, all right? So that is going to be a key level to watch, 21.33 on the Russell. The other level right here is 21.25, and that is very strong as well, right? So here's your Russell. Go to the 15-minute. You can see Russell had some struggle at our 21.33, had some struggle at our 21.25. Those are going to be two levels to watch out on the Russell today. If you get above them and you hold above them, more upside on the Russell. This was a very nice hold on the Russell yesterday. Look at that. What was that right there? That was previous, that was Tuesday's highs turning into support yesterday on the Russell. That was very clean. All right, so we got our unemployment data. Let's see what the reaction is right now. Right now, a little bit of downside coming in. Not still above that all-time high, though. Let's see what the numbers are. Building permits down 3%. Housing starts down slightly. Jobless claims 222 versus 219. Little bit of reaction. Not really going anywhere. Nasdaq in our 18.7 zone. Looks like it's trying to find some support in there right now. You're seeing a little bit of wick action in that green zone. Yeah, muted. Pretty muted. Really not much. ES is already starting to wick off that all-time high. We can see that right there. So this is going to be key, guys, right? The key is today, do we break under the futures all-time highs? That's going to be the key for me. If we break back under the futures all-time highs, I'm a little bit less interested in like aggressive upside, because then we need to be careful of it turning into a rejection point today. If we maintain above these all-time highs, then I would say there's a free sort of upside. You know, the upside is definitely free if you do maintain above that. If we break back below, then we're going to have to make sure we're aware of the downside levels and make sure we're aware of that potential rejection up there on the intraday. But for now, not much reaction. I'll check in on this in a little bit. Tesla. What a disgusting Tesla move this was. And it rejected very heavily off the 182 level. So you can see right here on the 4-hour chart, this 182 level was very heavy, and it definitely had sellers stacked up, right? So right here we can see 182, 182, 182, 182, multiple previous reactions at the 182, and yesterday you can see right off 182 just got nailed right as it opened right into that 182 level. You can see how aggressively that thing got nailed off that 182 level. So big drop yesterday, back under 176. And so today, if you're looking for some more downside on Tesla, I don't think it's a terrible idea. If we see a little bit of market weakness today, maybe a little pullback action, watch this 176. Watch this 176 very closely. 176, 176, 176, 176. Multiple rejections at 176 on Tesla. If you can get a little bit of a pop here back into this level, I think that could be an interesting fade, possibly back down into that 171. Definitely a watch there. I would keep an eye to see if Tesla fails to get over this 176 today. If it stays heavy at that level, I would assume weakness steps in again for some continuation. Watch that 176 on Tesla. All right, Nvidia. So yesterday, we were talking about the 922 level. We were talking about the 922 level. Why were we talking about that? Well, that previous high was as clear as it gets, right? That little consolidation that we had, we talked about this consolidation. We talked about the hold over that 885 that was continuing to just show that wick support, continuing to show that strength. And we had that 922 level that we needed to get above. This was also, if we go out to the 4-hour chart, it's not just in the short term, right? If we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see right here 922, 922, 922, and 922. So that was a very key level yesterday, $922 per share. Well, yesterday we opened the market, and what did we see? We saw just a sick hold of that 922 level. So you guys knew our top watch of the day, if you came to the live stream, was looking for that break and hold over 922 yesterday, and that surely was the trade of the day, in my opinion. Sick hold of 922 on Nvidia. Beautiful, beautiful upside and continuation. Now, the next level that held yesterday, which you can go watch my video yesterday if you want a little bit more in-depth analysis here on Nvidia. But the next level that we were watching that was in focus was 936. Now, why 936? Well, if we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see right here, 936, 936, 936. Very clear 4-hour level right there. Now, let me go to the 5-minute chart, and we can see right here on the 5-minute chart, when we broke and held above 936, right, break and hold above 936, that led to the upside continuation, right? So it was beautiful yesterday with some very key levels on Nvidia, some larger term levels, 936, 922. Very, very clean yesterday. Beautiful upside on this one. So what are we looking for today? Well, I would say for now, we're looking to see if this 950, 948.50 level holds, right? This yesterday high and some of this pre-market 950 area. So I'm going to be watching to see what happens in here today to see if there's further upside there. But if we do break below this, I would probably say you're going to want to wait for that 936. That's my real person, like my honest opinion there. There might be some reactions like in some of this area, right? You might be able to catch something like off this 940, maybe a little bit of something off this 943, right? You can see a few holds in this area from yesterday, right? You might be able to see something off these levels. I wouldn't trust them that much, right? I wouldn't trust those that much. I would trust this at 936. So if we do get a pullback on Nvidia, I think 936 would be the very key level to watch. That's a 4-hour level. I trust that one much more than I trust some of these short-term holds that came in yesterday in this zone. So that's going to be what I'm watching on Nvidia. The problem for Nvidia today for upside continuation is that we are right at that all-time high. So it's probably going to see a little pullback. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, why would we be surprised to see that? That's a very clear 960 double top here on Nvidia. You can very clearly see that double topping action at 960. And you can see that we're starting to lose a little bit of strength, right, up as we approach that 960. So do I expect Nvidia to just rip through this level? No, right? Not at all. Do I see, you know, potential for a little bit of a pullback and maybe it pulls back higher? Yes, absolutely. I would like to see it hold above this 948.50, 950 for that really strong move. If it does not, I like this 935 more than anything. But you could, right? You could, if you're going to get aggressive on it, you could look for like some of these 5-minute holds, right? You can see there's a little bit of a 5-minute hold there around this 943.50. Very short-term levels, so I have a little bit less trust in them. You can see a little bit at that 940.5, right? You can see right here, nice little hold there, little hold there, a couple holds there, hold there, hold there. All right, so you could definitely mark these out, 943.50. 940.5. But I like this more than anything if we do get that pullback. All right, so just be careful, guys, right? Be careful early morning. Just be careful of longing this thing into 960. Nvidia might give you a little, you know, bull trap straight up off the open, and then be careful of it doing something like this. Watch out for that 960 level on Nvidia. All right, AMD. We've been sort of screaming and hollering about AMD, talking about how there could be some opportunity here as it's one of the more oversold semiconductor names, and yesterday was a beauty. Yesterday, big upside, and there was a very clear break and retest on AMD yesterday that you needed to be looking at, and we were all over that yesterday. I know some of you guys caught this one. We'll go over it in a second. But the larger term levels to be careful of here, guys, is this. I don't love this 165 area. I would be very careful here after this push on AMD. This is definitely a major, major level, right? We can see multiple reactions here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Look at all these reactions right at 165. So I would probably want AMD to come down a little bit after this push higher yesterday. I don't think I want to long AMD into 165. You also have that 100 SMA, pretty close, 167.80. I think I'd like to see a pullback on AMD. And where do I want to see a pullback to? I'd like to see us pull back to that 157 again. So let me show you that 157 level here. 157, in my opinion, would be probably the cleanest pullback along to look for, and that would be a pullback right back into here, right? Back into this high, back into this high, back into this high, back into this high. If we can get that pullback, that would really be the next long entry that I would look for, possibly back up into the 157 or 165. So 157, 165, and I feel like AMD is just sort of in no man's land here, right? You can see a little bit of rejection right here on this previous high around 160, 163.50, 160, 162.50, 162.80. But I think just the 165 level is what you need to be careful of here, right? I think that could definitely be a rejection point. So I am no trade on AMD today because I don't really like it's in the middle here. I would need it back here or back here, right? That's where I need AMD back to. One of those levels, all right? But yesterday I want to show you something, right? Because this was really pretty. And it was the 157 retest. That was the retest move, right? Right here. The 157 retest yesterday. You can see it right here. This was a really clean setup. You had this little flagging action intraday back into our 157 level, right? And look at how this thing just sort of consolidated, broke the trend, and continued higher. That was a sick play yesterday. Congrats if you caught that. SMCI, yeah, huge push. Daily chart, gotta love it. You can see this daily chart. I'm definitely interested in further upside here. It probably cools down a day here and there. But for now, look at this. I mean, what a beautiful daily chart. We looked at this yesterday. We talked about this 100 SMA hold. We talked about the potential of a trend break. That is surely what it did on the daily chart. That is a sick, sick daily chart breakout on SMCI. Now, there are some levels to be careful of here, right? There's definitely some levels to be careful of here. And we're sitting at one right now, which I think could cause a little bit of weakness today on SMCI, right? Absolutely. We definitely could be in for a little bit of a pullback here. And that is right off this 950 level. So I need to turn that red because that is not a green level for now. 945. So right here, guys, you can see a very clear 950 rejection spot, right? 950, 950. And so this is definitely going to be a tough level for SMCI to get through, right? Definitely a tough level for SMCI to get through, 950. So be careful there, right? I wouldn't be chasing SMCI right back into the 950 supply. That's definitely a big level there. If you can get above 950, then that sure as hell probably pushes us to 1,000, in my opinion, if we can get above that 950. But for now, I think that's going to be pretty tough. Some pullback levels I'd be watching is 900, and then I would see what happens at this 50 SMA today, okay? So 50 SMA, I'd watch that at 930, and then I'd watch 900. 950 is going to be the level you need to break for upside. You need to get above 950. 950 is going to be tough. MU. Go quickly to MU because MU's been a sick grinder to the upside, man. It's been holding levels beautifully, and yesterday was no different. On MU, you can see right here, we had these levels marked out. We had this, that 121. We had this 124.50. We have this 127.50. So look at how MU has been grinding and stair-stepping through this upside, right? Very clean upside move. You can see here we have that 121, and so here we have that 124.50, and yesterday we held that 124.50. The level that I would be a little bit cautious of here, well, first of all, definitely 130. 130 is definitely going to be heavy up here, so be aware of that, right? You're coming into that all-time high at 130, so please be careful on MU longs into 130. The level that really needs to hold, in my opinion, today is this high right here, this 127.50. The 127.50 is, I think, a must-hold level today. You can see it's trying to hold right now, right? It rejected a little bit yesterday. I would want to see that 127.50 hold on for more upside. If we break back under 127.50, then I think you could get a little bit of a pullback. So 127.50 is the level I would be watching today on MU. If you are looking to trade it, that is a 4-hour major high right here. See this? That's 127.50. I think you need to see that level hold. Alex, appreciate that, my friend. Happy Friday, Junior. Thank you, Alex. As always, brother. Friday, Junior. Press the like button. Goddamn. All right. TSM. You guys can see right here. I think the 154 level is pretty massive. Let me show you why. Keep an eye on this 154 level. Here's 154. 154 is the open of this red candle, right? Back from that all-time high push. That's $154 per share. So if we go to TSM in the short term, right, we can see it's trying to hold that 154. So I think TSM needs to hold that 154 today. If you do not hold that 154, then I think you could pull back a little bit, maybe back down to our 150.5. So I think today, if you want to see TSM continue higher in this brute strength, I think 154 is going to be a must-hold level. Above that, you have 158.40. That's really your all-time high. So I'd say 154 today, guys. See if that holds. That's your daily chart bodied candle, right? See the body of that candle at 154. That's where I think you're trying to hold, at least in the short term. You can see it's attempting, but we're going to need some more confirmation there. You can see it held yesterday very nicely. We're going to need some more confirmation of whether that 154 holds. Qualcomm, previous all-time high, 193.58. If I go to the daily chart, you can see... Oh, no, I got to go to the weekly chart. Yeah, Qualcomm, what a comeback for Qualcomm. The previous all-time high... I'm going to extend that to the left. The previous all-time high, the exact wick high here on Qualcomm is 193.58. Okay? And so if we go to the 5-minute chart, look at this. All right? Look at this right here. 193.58, 193.58. Qualcomm, if it holds above this 193.58, I think will continue higher. That is the previous all-time high right there, 193.58. Look to see if this level maintains itself today. I would say it could be down into 193 as well. It's this whole zone right here. So anywhere between 193, 193.58, that's the area that I would look to see if we have that upside move. If we break below it, 190. 190. What's the Nasdaq doing? Yeah, we're rejecting that all-time high. So, yeah, a little bit of a... Oh, ES is still above it, so you got to be careful there. SPY still above 530. QQQ back under that. Okay, so QQQ coming back to 453. Yesterday's highs. Yeah, so we have a little break and retest of that all-time high here on the Nasdaq. Very nice, very clean. You can see right there, a little break, retest, rejection. Very good. I would say your next level here now is right here. It's 18,670. But look at how clean that was right there. You can see right here. As of right now, as we talk here, you can see the little break, retest, rejection of the all-time high on the Nasdaq futures. So that's key, right? That's key. That could lead to us giving a little bit more downside. All right. Let's go to Apple real quick. I just wanted to point out Apple is holding over our right at our 190 area. Apple has been a strong name, and we've been talking about that 190, 180, really this 189.60 today. You guys see this? See this little low right here? 198.60. 198.60, 198.60. So that's going to be your level to watch on Apple today. 198.60. Do we hold it or do we reject it? All right? That's the key for Apple today. 198.60. I'm finding new things every day on this. I can pull up my studies by pressing Control E, huh? I need to learn these shortcuts. That's pretty cool. Oh, that's not. We don't want that. White. I don't know how many control buttons I want to press here before something I don't want to have pops up. Control E, though. That brings up our studies. That's nice. All right. Learn something new every day. Oh, why is that yellow? So 189.60. I'd say that's definitely a level to watch. You can see this little low that's came in. See if that holds today. Meta. Yeah, Meta broke under that retest, so we're not holding that retest on Meta, which you would have liked to see. So that's not holding. You can see right here, Meta trying or attempted to hold above that 478. You can see right there, did not. That is breaking down. So I would say your next level is probably back down to your 473, right? 473, 473. That's where we held yesterday. That's possibly where we could see that pull back down into, right? So 170 or 473, that was your hold yesterday. That was some of these previous holds. That was some rejections here. You have a little bit of downside. I would have wanted to see Meta hold over this high, 478, right, to get that move higher. But right now you are failing below it. So don't love that. It looks pretty weak to me. If you're under this high, I'd say Meta stays weak right here. If you're under 478, this rejection right here, I'd say Meta stays on the weak side. So be careful on that 478 on Meta. Big failure there on Meta. Google, 173.50 looks pretty important today. Let me show you why. So right here was our previous high on Google, 173.50, right? Very clear previous high. And you can see right here, we're trying, at least right now, to hold above it. This was your major high, 173.50. If we go to the 5-minute chart, right, let's look at what happened at 173.50. We can definitely see reactions here, right? You can see rejections, support. Rejections turning into support, right? That's very key right there. We can witness that in the short term. So today, what are we going to look for? We're going to look to see if Google can hold above this. If we pull back to it, do we see it hold? Do we see a 173.50 hold on Google? If not, and this does fail below, then we can potentially look to play that short again, right? We have a rejection here that created a short. If we move under this, then we can look for the short, right? So 173.50 is going to be the level to watch today on Google. Amazon, a little bit of weakness. I don't really like Amazon chart. It's sort of to me. It's sort of messy in this area. I think I'll probably leave Amazon alone here. You can maybe look for like the short play here at 188 if you do get that pop and fade. But this looks like a pretty messy zone on Amazon to me. I'm probably going to stay away from that. Another one that I'm going to wait for on is Microsoft. Microsoft, I think you need to wait for it to come back down to 420. So you can see right here, 420, 420, right? 420. I think you need to wait for Microsoft to come back down to 420 before you take any trades here. This is sort of right in the middle of a zone, right? Between 430 and 420. I don't really like that. It's sort of in no man's land here, in my opinion. So what would I wait for? I would probably just do this. Create alert at or below. Let's go 421. So I'll get an alert to know if Microsoft's starting to come close to that 420 zone, and then I can start to watch it, right? That's what I would look for there. Coinbase, pop off the 100 SMA. I don't really have much there. Netflix, very weak yesterday. That 624 level must have some monster selling going on, right? Yesterday, Netflix did not even move higher with the market, right? Netflix actually went down as the market went up. So very interesting weakness on Netflix yesterday. Something I would be paying attention to, sort of. Really failing that 624. It's still holding above the demand, so it's really just stuck here. But if the market does get weak, I would maybe keep an eye on Netflix to see if it underperforms again. That was a very, 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 very weak 624 level yesterday. All right, let's go to the Nasdaq real quick. We're getting a little bit of a pullback, which is good, right? Which is good. This is going to be just to, this is what the mindset starts to turn into, guys. After a day like yesterday, you gotta be careful of this mindset. You get a 0.17% pullback, and everyone starts looking to short the hell out of the market. Okay, please be careful of that mindset today. Please respect the levels that are on the chart. Please understand that this could absolutely hold, right? Please understand that there are pullback levels that you need to be watching today. The market was up about 2% yesterday. You are down 0.17% in the pre-market. That does not mean that we are going straight down today. And that does not mean that you totally throw away every demand level that is below on these charts. QQQ, I'd watch 453. If you break under 453, you can look for that 452.20, right? This is, again, where I'd say you can get a little bit more interested in the short side is under this level, 452.20. Under 452.20 and under this 18,670. You have to get under those levels. You cannot start shorting a market that was straight up yesterday because we are down less than 0.25%. So please be careful with this mindset today. 18,670 is definitely somewhere I'm watching. ES, definitely watching this all-time high level. We're still sort of sitting around it, right? Under that, 53.20, right? There's definitely pullback levels to be watching. So please be careful of just shorting at these highs before some key levels do break down, right? You need some levels to break down. I think the two key levels you can look for to break down today, if you want to look short side, is 452.20. I think that's number one. And number two, I think, is this. This might be the easiest one, right? This might be the easiest one. I think this is one of the clearest ones. If the Nasdaq fails under this little late day hold, under that 670 area, that's where I think you will get your sort of juicy trade potentially for some further downside. Okay? So be careful right here as we sort of pull back in the pre-market. Be careful right there. All right, guys. We didn't get 1,000 likes. It continues to be pulling, taking, what is it? What's the saying? What the hell's the saying? It's like pulling nails, pulling fingernails. What is that saying? Tough. Press the like button. Thanks for all you do. My first 5-figure profit day. TTL. Hell yeah, man. The twins. TTL. Twins. TTL. Like the video. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Go Rangers. Pulling teeth. That's what it is. Not pulling nails. It's like pulling teeth out here, man. All right, guys. I appreciate the support. Appreciate you being here. I hope that the live stream has helped you. If you made, you come to YouTube, someone, who was it? Came to YouTube, made $16,000 in SMCI from our analysis yesterday. That's a pretty good risk reward, huh? Come to YouTube for free and get a $16,000 trade on SMCI. I don't think you can complain about that. So congratulations on that. If you guys took some profits off some of these things we talked about yesterday, hell yeah, congratulations. Let's keep doing it. Let's stay focused. I will see you tomorrow. Adios, amigo.